This is Kimberly Nichols. Welcome back to Something Coming Up, where the purpose is to purge, to release, to reach one, teach one, save one, help one, to stir up what's inside so something is always coming up. I have a group of ladies here with me today, and we're going to talk about how COVID has affected and impacted our lives as flight attendants with United Airlines. I want to thank each of you ladies for being here with me. We're going to talk about our years of service, where we've been based, maybe a couple of trips we've been on, good memories, no names, but we all miss it collectively, I can say. And we just want others out there to know, other flight attendants from other airlines, we understand the pain because we're walking in it. And I'm gonna let each lady say her name, tell us your years of service and where you're based. We're gonna start with you at the end, Jack.
Hi, I'm Jackie Briggs. I'm based in Newark currently. I'm a rehire. I've been back now 16 years.
I know, Jackie, with you came in also, you worked at a previous airline. You've got a lot of aviation under your belt.
Yes,
correct?
I do. Yes, I do. All the way back.
Where were you prior to United?
Originally, People Express.
Okay.
And then we merged with Continental.
Okay.
And as everyone knows, we did merge with United most recently.
And so in total with United Continental, how many years you have?
Oh, with the lapse, if I had stayed, I would have 30 years.
Wow. Yes. So you, out of all of us, that is a real senior mama in aviation status, okay? So she knows the ins and outs of when this industry started, what it looked like, and what it's, and I am going to say this, years ago, you wouldn't have seen this many of us that look like us in this industry. So it's changed, it's progressed.
Yes.
Now, Tamara, what about you? How long have you been were you with Continental?
I am, yes.
You started with Continental. Okay.
14 years this year.
Okay.
And I just followed my mom.
Okay.
Wanted those flying privileges. I grew up flying.
Now, what did your mom do?
She's an AAC.
Okay.
And then my uncle was a flight attendant too.
Okay.
So I'm like, but yeah, this is what it is. I need my benefits.
That's right.
Because once you turn, what was it, 26, and you stop going to school and everything.
That's it, you cut off.
You're technically not the child anymore.
Okay.
And I have 2 younger sisters, so I was like, you know what, me and my baby could travel.
Right.
Let me get the job and start working. So
y'all heard that? Y'all heard that ownership? Not let me try, let me get that job. Let me go get this, right?
Yes, that's right.
You said you were based where?
I'm Newark based.
You're Newark based. Nancy is waited for it.
I'm Newark based, yes.
And where else? Speaker,
yes. I'm a Spanish speaker. I'm Newark based, and I also have flown international.
Okay.
But I'm just a mom, so I'm used to multitasking.
We never say that just to anything. We're
You're
not
right.
just to
You are
anything.
correct. You are correct.
We wear many hats, literally.
We do. We're lawyers. We're doctors. We're psychologists.
Right.
Yeah.
What brought you to the airline industry? I know you said your family, your mom. Tell me something about the job that you absolutely love, something that you might not miss so much.
What I love about the job is the flexibility. I have a 16-year-old daughter.
And you look like you're 16, but we're going to keep that moving. She told us that, and we're like, what?
Yeah, right.
So it's going to be challenging, I'll say, when we do go back, because I came in up underneath that 9/11 revitalization period in 2006.
Where you sat reserve for years.
I sat reserve for 8 years. It was 2 when I started, and I just kept telling myself it's worth it.
It gets better.
It gets better, and it did, and it's great. And now I'm like, okay, single mom, that's fine. But I can travel with my daughter.
Just
now
keep
I
pushing,
can
right?
Show her, and the money is good.
Yeah.
Flexible, good money, the benefits. I love the job.
Right.
And the only thing that is bad about it is for people to take life and these inventions for granted, and then bring your issues and your drama into a space where it's just like, life is great and everything is amazing. We are flying in the sky.
We're blessed. We're truly blessed, yeah.
Whatever that was, you know I did
Right.
not do that to you.
Right.
So leave it.
Right.
You know, it's just having to remind myself, because I used to be so upset and annoyed with people with how they would act or, you know, do certain things. And then I used to be like, you know what, it's not worth it. When I go home, I literally probably would leave my suitcase in the car and won't go back out and get it until the day before my trip because I leave that
there.
Where it is.
I had in training, and I'll never forget it. I don't remember her name, but in training, one of the ladies told us, when you're flying, you're going to meet people that are complete and utter jerks. You're going to meet crew members, because you're so junior, that are going to try your every patience. What you need to do, write your salary down on a napkin or in the palm of your hand, where you are now. There are 3 points: where you are now, where you'll be in 5 years, and what your pay will be in 10 years. And every time somebody irritates you, just look at the palm of your hand and ask yourself, is it worth it? And not so much is the money worth it, is it worth it to throw this away for what you want to really say and do? And that really did get me through. So I understand that you have to find different personalities, most times 200 plus people on a flight, and you have to adjust, you know. Jackie, let me ask you, because you've seen the difference from different airlines to where we are now. How is this impacting you?
Well, for one, at the beginning of the pandemic, I chose to take one of the company offered leave. Because personally, I could not be compromised with flying. And it was before many of the protocols were put in place, the Clorox cleaning, the different things that they have now. Even the mask mandate wasn't there at the very beginning. So I chose to take a leave.
Okay. And now, I know, like you, I took the leave because so much was uncertain. And the leave was initially to help save other people's jobs.
That's exactly
Will you volunteer to leave with no pay, which is called COLA, Company Offered Leave of Absence, to save more junior people from losing their jobs? So I took that too.
And to help the company as well.
To save money.
Because at that time, they were not allowed to furlough anyone because they had taken government offered programs, which mandated that they keep employees on for a certain amount of time. And I still took that company offered leave for the maximum amount of time that was offered.
And I'll say, I want to add to that, like, I know we're all impacted financially. Is that safe to say?
Yes.
Okay. So with that impact, it's hard to, like, how do you adjust? Like you said, the money is good, and now it's not coming the way it used to, and it's very humbling. You got mortgage and car payments. It's like all of this stuff, and you're sitting there like, and people that don't understand our industry, well, you should have planned better. You can't plan for a pandemic.
How can you plan for that?
You see?
We had just bought a house in November.
Okay.
So I would have, I thought, should I take the COLA because I have my children? Should I take that leave so that other people can keep their jobs? And then it was kind of like, but we just bought a house, which was, more expensive than what we were doing when we were renting.
Right.
And there is no planning for this. There's no way of knowing.
This is where we are, and this is something we've never seen before, right? So we're wearing masks, we're wearing gloves, we're staying away, and people are still getting sick. People are stay home. The numbers are going up. This is happening. That's happening.
People are also still traveling. So sometimes, you need to get to where you need to get to, and you need us on those planes for you to get to where you need to get to.
Right.
So eventually they have to just find something, a happy medium, because people are not going to stop flying. They haven't stopped. Even at the worst of this pandemic, they haven't stopped.
Right.
And that's what we're there for. And, even those who have taken the furlough up until throughout the whole pandemic, so many of us were still there working, putting our own selves at risk.
At risk every day.
Every time we come to work, mask or not, we're putting ourselves at risk. And for the passenger, not you, the passenger, for the passenger that wants to get, some of them just want to go on vacation.
I had a guy, it was his 40th birthday, and he was like, we're just gonna go. I was like, did you all get tested or anything? And this was before some of the countries were like, can't come here, whatever the case may be. They were going to Turks and Caicos. I was like, no, we're just gonna go. We're all good. Nobody doesn't feel bad. And I'm like, see, it's really not going to slow down, because if you can't just say sacrifice without thinking about it being a sacrifice because now someone is alive, then it's gonna keep going this way. My daughter turned 16 this year. I planned a huge sweet 16. I bought things, I paid vendors and for cakes and all of that. And what am I gonna do? She can't have the party.
Right.
She can't. She can't.
And it's a 16-year-old. Old enough to understand, but it's still a pain.
It's hard for her to understand, but she's accepting it.
She's accepting. She did better even in her tears than most grown people are doing now. And they're not missing out on anything. They just want to argue and fuss about something, when it's like, if you care that much and you don't like it, use Instacart for groceries. Stop going into people's restaurants. Order your food, take it to go home. And if you don't want to wear the mask, don't go to places where you have to wear a mask. But then that's just my opinion, because I can't tell them how.
But it always has a twofold to that. And just like you said, it's different opinions, because some people will say, well, if everybody stayed home and everybody didn't fly and we buckled down, it's going to shut us down completely. And if it shuts us down completely, the logic thinking is, okay, and when people fly, we'll come back. The thing is, airlines have went under because of it. But I understand it. There is no clear-cut answer. This is the life we're in, and it has to be life lessons that we just keep teaching everybody. We got to give each other the message to hold on and stay hopeful. What could you share with someone? And we can start with you, Jackie. What is your hopes? That's a better question.
My hopes, and I expect that we will get out of this with cooperation, of course, doing the things that we have control over, such as wearing masks and all the other protocols we talk about. Vaccines are coming, and that's hopeful for our industry. So I think if we hold on, that we support one another, and that's the main thing. We do have to be there for one another. We have to support, whether we're home, whether we'll choose to fly or have to fly. We need to have that support for one another and encourage each other, knowing that we're going to get out of this soon.
Okay.
I think we'll come back out of this situation, okay? One positive note is that people are still flying, right? And then now you have this new world of people who have never traveled before, and the ticket prices are suitable enough for them to. Florida, for example, that's what I was doing over the summer. Orlando terms. Families can now actually go
afford
on
it with their entire family.
So, with the taste of it, even if the tickets go up, they'll see that it's important to travel culturally, whatever life experiences they saw outside of their house. That might keep us.
Introduce them to something new to want to keep coming back. Right.
Like, oh my God, we had so much fun. We have to do that.
Right.
Family vacations are necessary now. We can no longer just keep bouncing between Jersey, DC, PA, So I think that's what'll keep it going up and not stagnant, or we won't crumble, because now people are getting a taste of
what it's like.
A friend of mine yesterday just said he's never been anywhere. He's 31 years old. He is not the only one who has never been anywhere. So now he's like, I'm getting ready to go online and start looking for tickets and traveling. I'm like, yeah, you and your friends do that, so I can go back to it.
Right.
That'll work for me. So that's my hope, is that this taste
it sparks something. I agree. I think us that are still flying, we miss you guys, and we miss your faces. We need more variety. We need to see your faces again. I think that the key is adapting. Change is coming. Change is not always bad. After the storm, there's always restructuring, there's always repairing, and then you get something new. We just need to find a way to adapt, and it will happen, because what's going to happen? We're not going to travel? The world is not going to travel? No, that's not going to happen.
That's my Nancy, always so positive. That's my Nancy.
We have to. We have to, because we just went through several months of so much fear.
Yes.
But where are we? We're here. We're looking good. you know, we're looking to a future, and so it will happen. You guys will be back. I'll be happy. I'll get to fly with both of you, and it will happen. I mean, this is not a fantasy.
You said both of them. You don't want to fly with me?
You too, girl. I fly with you all the time. I love this woman. You too.
Sip to that, right?
I never flew with them before, by the way, but I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting to. We need you guys back. We need to. We're flying, but we miss you.
Yeah.
You know, it's not that we're flying and we don't care. We miss you, and things will change. I've heard about them trying to implement something where people get tested right before they fly. That may make other countries feel more secure about us flying. It will happen. It's just a matter of time.
And I'm hopeful that it'll return. I believe wholeheartedly it will not look like what it looked like when we left.
Oh no.
So how Continental looked, and now how United was so drastic for us. No one likes change. It's uncomfortable, but it's necessary. And so I do believe when there is a return, we're not going to see all the same faces, because some are going to opt to not come back. And it's just not going to be the way it was. And it's whatever that date is and whatever that looks like, it's going to be a window of uncomfortableness until we get in the groove and get on board. It's a business. It's not a friendship. They've got a business to run, and we've got our lives to live, and we got to find a way to meet in the middle. Right. But I'm grateful for United for allowing that opportunity of possibility. They didn't shut the door and terminate.
That's right.
They said, we will furlough you, and when we get better, we extend it to bring you back.